Yes, I'm sure you already have your vision, mission, your goals for the year, and you are all out. You are all out for, all the amazing things that you have set out for the year. As much as your strength will, yes, happy new year, everyone. Happy new year. Wow. We have over 70 people on the call. Amazing. I'm sure people will still join in. So if by 10 a.m. on the dot, we have 70 people and more, I'm sure we'll definitely have more people as we proceed. So once again, Happy New Year. It's so nice to be hearing your voice again. This is the first webinar I will be attending for the year in 2025. And I say attending, even though I'm a speaker, I'm also attending because I know there's a lot of wisdom that we do ship out, and going back after you have shipped it out to even relearn from yourself from what you have shared, because things you see at times might not even be in the books. It might actually be what you did not even plan for. So once again, welcome to the first webinar, the first software testing webinar for the year from Testers Quarter community. And yes, I'll be sharing more teas later. And who is the speaker? Not yet. So again, welcome to this event once again. Quick things I need to spill to you for every attendee here is about Testify, right? Testify is a technology enterprise that helps organizations deliver quality first products while also impacting through our leading Pan-Africa software testing institutes. And the images and brands you can see here are the brands that have trusted us, and they can attest to the quality work that we have done. And that is minus the thousands of people that can give you testimony of the trainings that they have done with us and how it has transformed their career. And right now they are doing amazingly well for themselves. Just a quick backstory. I don't think you need it, but it's good you so that when you hear us doing, oh, we are doing 6 years anniversary sometimes this year, you get to have an idea where we are coming from, right? I believe that's a good thing you need to know. There's a fight started in 2019, as you can see, and we went further in, as of 2020, we recorded over 512 trained and skilled software testers. In 2021, we started getting major featuring. We launched Tech for Christ, and we launched the Career Starters Launchpad, which I would communicate with you about the details later. In 2022, we launched the Automation School. We launched our migration or relocation program, where you can take the course and get the step-by-step guide to relocate outside the country. We also convened the Test Festival program in Ibadan. Severally over the years, we have done 2 days intensive program for women, 100 women. We have done a lot of trainings, but yes, we went to Ibadan in 2022 and we stumped the place with over 350 plus youths, and we were able to train them in software testing. And also we went as far as partnering on Tech for Christ. In 2023, we enrolled the first largest cohort we have had as of then. We have had more as since then, right? We had the largest cohort as of then, and then we also give scholarship out and graduates to women. And of course, in 2024, few of the things we have achieved is that our first 3 cohorts of the Switch to Software Testing program, which is our signature program, as of 2024, they have now clocked 5 years in the field, meaning that the novice that came into our program is now 5 years in their fields. And it also means we now have test managers as a result of this program. We now have, also last year, we launched the first software testing book in Africa, and we launched our academy and our community. So it means we have expanded beyond just Nigeria. And of course, we launched our Teenagers Academy. So in case you have a teen, your child, and you wanted to get started with tech, not necessary software testing, our first cohort was focused on software engineering, product management, and the likes. And we are starting our first cohort next weekend. So these are just few of the things we thought to share as regards what we achieved last year. Now, of course, we are set to make another landmark this year. I hope you will be part of it to ensure that you take as much as possible. Everything that happens in the community is free, and everything that happens in the academy or Testify as a whole is paid. So that is for you to know that this program is 100% sponsored and partnered by the Testers Quarter community. All right. So, what is our mission as a whole? To be the foremost and most sought after software testing company in Africa that provides quality assurance services to product-led companies, while also bridging the unemployment gap between African talent and the businesses. Talking about our community, where if you are here, you should check. If you are not part of our community, I would doubt it. But in case you are not, you probably are 1 out of 100. So in case you are not, Testers Quarter is the most active software testing community in Africa that is focusing on empowering both aspiring and practicing software testing professionals. And the things that we do, we have weekly practical workshops, webinars, and seminars every week. This year, we have scheduled our calendar to happen every Friday by 8 p.m. And we have lined up of speakers to train you every Friday by 8 p.m. throughout the year. Like throughout the year. Okay. So just use this link that I'm dropping now in the chat section. You can use it, just bit.ly/testers, fill the form, and the link to join us on Slack will be like immediately you finish filling the form and you submit it. The link to join Slack is already there. So you just fill it, and I just dropped the link in the chat as well. So you can use that to fill it. What are the things we do? Weekly practical workshop, certification trainings for free, monthly group and one-on-one mentorship, brand clinic and career coaching, CV clinic and job preparedness, state and country-based community team bonding, and events, both online and physical, job opportunities on our job board, and access to pool of hiring managers. And of course, we have the testing merchandise. These are the few way we can highlight the things we do in the community, even though we do much more than this. We have companies that we have partnered with, and this year we'll be announcing more about them because we have partnered with both. In fact, this time around, more with international companies. We are partnered with more international companies this time around because we know that a lot of testers in Nigeria wants to work internationally and earn in dollars. So if you go to our job boards, you see a lot of Europe-based company, US-based company, Canada-based company there. So Pakistan, China, Ghana, you can see a lot of jobs there. We literally created a bot that brings all these job opportunities as they post them on our job board. So you just want to be part of the community. You don't want to miss it out in any way. All right. Now, the second, which is the last part I'll be talking about here, is the academy. We have an academy that we train the next generation of software testers. We have our program called the Switch to Software Testing Program. It's our signature software testing program that provides the right practical tech skills in 3 months for tech novices who wants to switch careers in tech ecosystem. What are the things you should expect in 90 days intensive software testing program? And I'm not talking about, is it manual, is it automation, is it Cypress, it is this? No, I'm talking about the actual software testing automation program, product management, a brief of automation to make you stand out. These are the few things that we, is part of our 90 days. I don't want to mention all. Of course, how to outstanding automation skills for you as an automation person, capstone project, where you work on real-life projects to be able to build your portfolio. Will not only teach you how to position yourself professionally, but we would practically guide you. And of course, we have live classes, we have mentorship every weekend. There is mentors that you can talk to directly every day, and there is accountability partners. All right. While on our test automation simplified school, it's usually a 6-month program, but we have broken it down to 3 courses so that it's not that lengthy. Now we have it at 6 weeks. API test automation is 6 weeks with 2 weeks of live support, meaning after the 6 weeks program and you have done your capstone project and you have submitted it, extra 2 weeks will be on standby for you so that you can implement what you have learned on the job. And if you have any issues, we'll always be on standby for those 2 weeks to help you. So the same thing applies to web automation and mobile test automation. And if you want to see details about it, our API automation contains introduction to API, not just start writing API, calm down. We have introduction to API, which is quite intensive. So you can really understand the whole ecosystem of test automation. We have the CI/CD, versioning and pipeline and Git and all of that. Another programming language where you get to understand different programming languages within programming language. You wonder why a lot of developers that do Java today can do JavaScript Python tomorrow. It's because they understand this anatomy of language. And then we have Java programming language for JavaScript for API, and many more. So the same thing for web automation. We do in the introduction, we do the CI/CD, we do the anatomy, we do Java, and we do web automation with Selenium. And we teach you how to hit the market reformed and majorly how to grow in your career. Same for mobile and same for Cypress with JavaScript. Um, is our When you are saying that you want to teach us the software testing, you want to teach us software testing course meal, what are we going to do? Are we going to be cooking on this program? But I had to mention that, hey, it's simply a masterclass that will help you to switch. You're not already a software tester. If you're already a tester, it will help you to elevate. And if you think you're already an intermediate or senior level tester, it will help you to advance in your career in software testing. So I call it the switch, elevate, and advance. It's simply a government approach to mastering software testing. And as much as possible, trust me, I will still not spill all the teas that cooks up test leaders here. That is something you will need to pay for to learn. And like I said, if you are 5 years into the field and more, that is a program you want to look out for. All right. The first thing in cooking your software testing meal, which we are going to end up hitting later, is requirement analysis. Anybody can, you can also rename this webinar to, becoming a software tester, the step-by-step guide, or the ABC of software testing, whatever name you think you're all comfortable with. Yeah, but this is what it entails. What does it mean to really cook a software testing meal? The first thing, like I mentioned, is requirement analysis. Now, it can seem like the obvious. Prince, why are you telling me this? I mean, I already do requirement analysis in my company. I mean, I speak to, I do requirement. I see the requirement before I test them. But we need to go back to the basics. And one is starting with the basics. Understand the project ingredient. And when I mean understand the project ingredient, I'm not saying you should, we want to build an API in which we can sign up. Sorry, please ensure you are muted throughout this session. Just a second. I think I need to mute everything. And you would need to request if you really want to be, if you really want to speak. So ensure that you are muted. All right. Everyone, please, let's respect that. Throughout the call. Stay muted throughout the call. It's very important. Okay. All right. I trust we are going to do that. And I trust nobody will distract the call again. All right. Thank you very much. So let's go back. Like I mentioned, the first thing first is requirement gathering. What does it really mean to gather requirements? A number of times, people tend to miss out what we are trying to talk about when we say you should understand the requirement. People just think they need to read. That's all they think. People think they need to read. That's what we mean when we say requirement gathering. That is not what we mean. That is not what we mean when we say requirement gathering. Now, what we mean when we say requirement gathering is you understanding it like the product owner. That's what we mean. You need to understand it like the product owner. So it's not just about what is the requirement. Okay, they say a user should be able to do this, but you have gone. No, you need to sit down and understand the product, not just what it has been put in the book. In as much as it's good that they have typed it out, they have written it in your ticket to understand what it is, you need to go back and ask whoever your product manager is. In fact, scrap that. Go as high as asking who is the business owner of this? Where is this coming from? There is always a two sides to a story. You cannot sit down with just an information you see that is typed. We cannot type all the requirements of a product. So it means that there's always one information that is going to be missing in that document. So first, understand the source of the requirement. This is not in the screen, so you have to type this down. One, understand the source of the product. We call it stakeholders management. product management. We call it stakeholders manager. We say, you know what do they really want? When the person was thinking about this thing, tell me the user journey. I want to hear from the user's pain. What are they suffering from? And then you get to digest what the requirement is. You must understand the product in and out. If you need to ask questions from your product managers 500 times, please ask them 500 times. If you need to know who the business owner is to understand what this product is all about, please do. Do you know what that would do to you? That would help you to think, to understand the real problem. A lot of time we see requirements, but we do not understand the problem that we are trying to solve. We just know about the solution. We don't really know the problem we want to solve. I know a number of times I've seen testers testing in different organizations. I'm just like, oh, how's far? How you doing? I check up on a graduate at times. How you doing? What day? I'm currently working on this project. It's quite intense. Okay, so tell me about it. Just eye level, right? Tell me about it. And the person said, oh, we are solving this. We are building this application. Okay, what was the problem? What's the problem you guys are trying to solve? And guess what? I lose them at that point. The moment I ask a tester, what problem from the user's perspective are you guys trying to solve? I lose them. So you must understand the problem. Now go to the product manager so that when the product manager is explaining to you what they're trying to solve, you can give a wise counsel to why it should go a different route. What should I do? When you understand the problem, you know how they want to solve it. And that way you can contribute. You can either tell them to remove, or you can tell them to add, or you can give kudos to what they have written. Because now you are understanding it from the source. Then when you see a design, you cannot understand why the designer is going through the way he's designing it. Everybody in the tech team must understand why we are solving what we are solving. They must understand the problem. This is what makes every team members to build accordingly. And that's what makes it look like you are not really doing your job as a quality assurance engineer because you do not understand the problem. You are only helping them to solve it. So the requirement here entails both the functional requirement and the non-functional requirements and the goals. So it's not just, okay, we want to be able to test this thing and we want it to be able to pass. No. What about, because from the moment of requirement, you should be able to know on what are the features that you are going to carry out performance testing on. What are the features that must not go live until you have carried out performance testing and security checks on them? There are some requirements that I'm not really big on the security check. I know that there's no problem here. Even if it eventually gets exposed, my company cannot lose a dime. And there's a feature you will see me press neck like, no. I'm going to be screaming it. I'm going to let everybody know that if you go live, it's none of my business. This is a problem. I'm going to go as far as write an email to that effect and copy everybody to it. I'm going to scream at the top of my voice as much as possible because I understand the problem we are trying to solve. And I know the way they have solved it. And yes, the business goal is part of the requirement. Not just business goal because of the way it is typed, but the business goal because of the way it is also communicated to me by the business owners and the product managers. What is the business goal? Requirements will be given to you like product manager, but the business goal is more from the business owners or the business developers or whoever it is business. You get the business goal from the business. Yes, product managers can add it to part of the requirement of you, or they can sort of communicate it, but nothing is as interesting and solidifying than getting it from the business owner. Engage. A number of times as a software tester, you are not meant to be quiet to just listen to what they are saying. You must be able to understand the requirement. Communicate, discuss with other people, discuss with your product manager, discuss with your developer, discuss with everybody on the call. You must speak. I have a rules of the game I give to my team members. At the least of every meeting, you must ask at least 2 questions. And they have to be wise questions. So you have to be attentive enough to be able to pick out what is not clear. So that when they give the ticket to you, you don't just put it on ChatGPT to generate positive and negative scenarios for you, and then you check it, okay, it's passed, okay, it fails. No. Because if you do these things, this is what set the foundation of software testing. This is where the value you bring to the team comes in, not in your manual or automation testing. It's in the value you bring in. This is where your value is being defined. So start with the basics. Digest the product. Go back to this, understand the source, digest the product, review the requirement from both functional to non-functional to business goal, and please communicate. Talk, ask question, contribute, explain further, make it simpler. These are the things you can talk about. You can ask question, you can add your understanding to the team to let them know that you understand it into this level. And you can also, explain whoever I said anything, explain it further to the team. This is where you build value. This is how you build value. You don't build value by just writing pass or fail. You don't build value by using automation tool and non-automation tool. You don't build value because you use programming language. Heck, everybody can do that. This is how you start. This is how you start shifting yourself from just a tester to a quality assurance engineer, to a product quality engineer. All right, let's move. The next step, I call this first step the appetizer. And that is the first step. The appetizer is requirement analysis. Now, preparing the recipe, which is more like the test planning. That's the soup, the test planning. What do you mean by preparing the recipe? One, a number of you to date still have an issue with understanding the difference, sort of the difference we have between test strategy and test plan. From test strategy, what is test plan? What is test strategy? What is test case? If you are still dealing with that, I can say that you have a lot of fundamental work to go back to. Some people still confuse test scenario with test cases. Some people don't even know about traceability metrics. If these are still your concern, then you need to go back. You need to do it. See, I'm always saying it. There is nothing bad with going back to the basics. Absolutely nothing. You have not gone too far in your career to understand these basics. Because whether you like it or not understanding that clarity would always show in the quality of the work you do. It will always show in the quality of the work you give to your team. It will always show. And when someone that is very smart sees you talking, they know you don't know what you are doing. And they know you don't understand this thing well. You don't want to come to a meeting, sound all the best you can, just to realize that everybody thinks you are just a simp. You don't want a situation like that. So yes, it is important that you understand the difference. So to just help, let me give you a brief high-level definition of the difference between your test scenario and test plan. In fact, you should not even be mistaking test scenario and test case at this stage. When I say at this stage, I believe that if you have at least 1 year experience in software testing, you should not be confused on the difference between test scenario and test case right now. At least 1 year experience in the field. Now, so I'm going to focus on test strategy and test plan. A test strategy on one hand is like a document that shows you the how and why you want to test. Simple and straight. Is the how and the why of testing. That is what your test strategy is. While on the other hand, your test plan is the one that are like the actual activities, or what, like all the details, all the meats. That is what you do. That is where you get your test plan. That's where your test plan comes in. So all the activities you are going to do, you are going to write a test case, you are going to do a test plan, you are going to do timelines, or who is going to work on what tools are you going to use, what are your entry criteria, the bug report you are going to submit, the test summary report, or why you are testing what you are testing. Everything is there. So see test plan like a Bible that contains how testing happens, as far as that organization is concerned. Now, in most cases, your test strategy is project or organization specific. More like it has organization scope or the project scope. Project plan is project specific. It's not like you create test plan. For test plan, it's project specific. It's not like you create test plan. The same test plan you create for this project is the same test plan you are using for. No. Test plan is specific to the project, while the test strategy sits like on an organization level. The difference, again, you need to know between these two is that these two documents are mostly created by leads and manager. These two documents, they are mostly created by leads and manager. Test lead, team lead, whatever lead and managers. So you cannot tell us that you're a senior tester and you cannot create a very detailed and solid test strategy document for a company. Neither can you tell us that you are a test team, team lead, test manager, senior level person, and you cannot create a solid test plan. If you don't know these things, attend the weekly workshops in the community. You can learn that for free. They do it every Friday. Learn it for free. Because a number of times we go on YouTube or on Google to go and download template or use ChatGPT to generate template that does not even align with our company work. So yes, let's come back. Back to this program, back to where we are. When I said preparing recipe, I said you have to define the test strategy and the scope of what you want to do. And you should be able to answer key questions, right, in your test plan. When you are creating your test plan here, what are we testing? How are we testing it? Who is testing it? How are we testing it? What are we testing? And who is testing it? These three things must be detailed enough in your test plan. This is your recipe that you use in cooking your software testing meal. These things are important because, again, it's beyond whatever tools you want to use. Tools can change, but the understanding of this never changes. Tools can change, but the understanding of this never changes. Please, Moses, use the chat section. You can put down your hand. Thank you. So again, you have to be able to answer these questions, especially if you have a plan to lead a team, or you should be able to answer this question if you're a senior level tester. Let's move forward. The third one is the main course of execution. I call it the heart of the whole meal. It's like the meat and the fish you're looking for in your food. Now, this is where I'm going to talk about what I talked about recently when I wrote a post and it sort of went viral on LinkedIn. When I talked about manual and automation testing. That is just a method of testing. I need to clear that here, and I'll keep clearing it every time I have a session like this. That is simply a method. Guess what? You can as well be good in a particular programming language or a tool, and that's not what they want you to use as a tester in their company. I see a lot of testers that apply for international companies' job when they come for interviews, and I'm like, okay, so I talk about software tests, and the next thing the person is telling me about Cypress, telling me about Playwright. I use this. I'm like, no, that's not what we are talking about here. That's not what we are talking about. We are actually talking about software testing itself. Your understanding of software testing itself. Executing it is one, the method is one side, but there are different types of testing you do across the applications. And you should have your test case for the different types or levels of this testing. There is the functional testing you do. The test case for functional testing is not the same as the test case for non-functional testing. So if all you are doing across a project in your company or a product in your company is just to write test case for something and you are done, no, you are doing something wrong. You should write this functional testing. If you are going to carry a non-functional testing on that, you should do it. Integration testing, especially companies that have integration with other parties, they are not the same testing. Yes, some company will send you their UAT test script that they want you to confirm for them, but you must carry out your own integration test, because that, whether you like it or not, your company is not going to bank on just one thing or just one partner. They are going to be partnered with others. So integration is there. Your regression. Now, when we really talk about the old automation sagas, this is really where we are using automation, regression. Why? Because we want to make sure that when they fix an issue, we can quickly carry out, when we have done our retest and everything is fine, we can quickly do our regression test and everybody's good. That's what we use automation testing for. You can't start using programming language to be writing your test cases. Yeah, I know that there are different test cases you can write code to do and all of that. But at what point do you sit down and really carry out a critical thinking on your execution or your project? And lastly, do you log and report defects? Log and reporting defect as templates. Every organization should have a standard template of reporting bugs. Don't just say this is execution is wrong and then you put screenshot and then you say you have logged bug. No. You must be detailed enough to tell us, to describe the problem, to give us the steps that you used to reproduce it. What was the result you get? What were you expecting? And give us an evidence that this happened. That's all. So your bug report must be detailed enough that anybody that picks it up, even as a software engineer, if you pick it up yourself, you should be able to solve the problem. Next thing is sweet ending, right? And that is where you go into reviewing your test results and provide final reports. A number of times when you don't provide the final report, your team do not understand the intensive and the value of the work that you have done. If all you do is you just close out the ticket and move it to closed or done, and that's it, you are not providing a test summary report or a final report for your stakeholders for this project, you're not providing it per sprint. It could just be short. It doesn't have to be a full page or system. It could just be half-page document. Just know what you want to share. How many test cases did you write on this project? In the course of your release notes, these are part of the things you must add. Test reports. Or when you're doing your deployment request, when you're raising your deployment request, you must be able to add your report. Archive the tech artifacts that you used and the lessons you gather. A lot of time you have done excellent on product, but if you're not able to replicate it, I mean, it is what you are good at that you're able to replicate. Oh, you not say, oh, I did this in that time, or tonight I can't remember what I used again. It's because you do not archive your test artifacts. Everything you use for that test, you must have a repository where you keep them. Now, these things and the lessons you learned, and celebrate your team's achievements. You can be that team. You don't have to wait that, oh, I'm waiting for the developer, I'm waiting for the project manager or the product manager to come and celebrate us. You don't have to wait for that. Celebrate your testing team. Celebrate your testing team. Now, all of those things is important, especially for those that are within Africa that wants to relocate. Most of you that are applying for global talent visa. If these things are not in your submissions, they will still reject it. They will still reject it. I hope I added something. So this is like your test closure, right? This is the dessert. Your final report must be detailed as possible. For this project or for this last sprint that we worked on, how many test cases did you write? How many did you identify? How many did you execute? How many did you pass? How many did you fail? What is the percentage? What is the success rate? Does that align with what you plan as your exit criteria? Because in your exit criteria, you have to be able to state what your success of this sprint is. Is it 100% pass or is it 75% success rate? How do you calculate that? How many automation requirements did you gather? How many did you execute? How many passed? How many failed? How many was consistently passing? What is the percentage success rate after 3 times cycle? A lot of people write automation tests, which on repository, and that is it. When you go back to that test, 2 days, 1 week, 3 weeks later, it cannot pass straight up. They have to touch it to pass. And that's why we call it flaky test automation, unhealthy test automation, because you have to manually execute. So ensure you detail the reports as much as possible. I'm also running because of time. The last thing is the drinks, continuous refreshment, continuous learning, sorry. I mean, refresh and revigorate. How many people, in fact, I need a chat section now. I think this is where I need you to raise up your hand. How many people hear that after you deploy to production, you always carry out, and I mean you always, even though I can't go to your company to confirm, I mean you always carry out post-deployment check, not just immediately. Immediately is important, that is one, but you go back to that same project and carry out post-regression on it like 1 week later. How many people do that? I want you to use your raise up your hand feature, not just thumbs up now. Raise up your hand feature. I can see 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are almost 150 on the call, and I can barely see up to 10 hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, if you don't do it, please, I'm encouraging you to create a post-deployment cycle as part of your deliverables on any project you do. That way, you can quickly identify life issues and communicate to your team. So after they have deployed, do instant post-deployment check so that they can revert back, right? And if there's any issue, they can revert it back and fix it and redeploy. Now, aside from that alone, and if it is fine, good. And aside from that alone, 1 week later, please go back and carry out a post-deployment check on it again. You might say, we are doing a lot of things in my company. I don't have the time. Maybe let's see the time. Maybe I'm busy doing this. See, in the next 1 week, when that thing has problem, they will forget that you carry out the first test. They will forget all the testing activities you do during the sprint. It's not their fault. It is because they don't expect you to have a problem that you will not be aware of. So create something called post-deployment cycle, where after 1 week, you can do it every week back to back for the first time they deploy it. It's just a notification that will remind you, carry out post-deployment check on this. You can do it at night. It's on live, so you're not going to carry out all the old scenarios, but what you have called your post-deployment check, carry out on it. You can do it monthly. It's not like you are doing 500 products in your companies. I don't think there's any company doing up to 500 or even 100 products. So just carry out the regression, share it with your team. If you are the only one, then make it known that this is part of the reason why you want somebody else to join the team. Trust me, if you're able to present and communicate this thing properly to your team, your boss or your HR, they will understand the value you're bringing. A lot of time we are scared of this one, they will not do it. No, if you don't communicate it to them value-wise, they will not do it truly. But when you let them understand the value of bringing this person to the team, it can even be a copper, it can be an intern, it can be a junior level person. Just show the person the step-by-step to carrying it out, and they will do it. So please, always refresh your knowledge about the product and, do a regression on them, even when they are live. And again, that's continuous learning. But again, other things here is follow industry trends, right? We have a lot of communities now. We have a lot of associations. Follow industry trend. Don't be boxed. Don't be boxed. I'm not expecting Testa's Quarter to only be on Testa's Quarter. Please, if you are seeing them serving knowledge that place, go and eat it there. If you see them serving knowledge the other place, go and of course, some people are like me. I don't just go and drink from every well. But before I go and drink from that well, I want to be sure of the value of what you are bringing, because there are also some learning rooms you will go to, and what you know before will get reduced rather than increased, in case you do have not noticed. But invest in your learning and growth. Invest in your learning and growth. It is very, very important. Invest in your learning and growth. And like I would always say, I think this is me rounding up this session. I promise to finish by 11. I always say that with the mastery comes the, whether you want to name it billions, whether you want to name it trillions, whether you want to name it billion, trillions, volumes, whatever leons. But with the mastery comes the billions. Meaning that it's not enough to know how to do something. You have to be a master at it. A number of times when I outsource activities to people, it's not because I could not do it, but maybe I have not mastered it yet. And I realize a lot of people claim to know a lot of things, but they have not really not mastered it yet. So it affects the way they are able to flow to other people. Because whether you like it, you must be able to flow. Your well must be able to flow to others and build others up. And it is only mastery that can give you that. So if you want to earn millions in 2025, or you want to earn billions in 2025, what you need to do is get yourself to become a billions in, I said, get yourself to become a master in something. Your focus can be on, what's it called now? Your focus can be on mobile automation. And that's fine. Master it. Don't just know it because you can do configuration. I know there's a lot of configuration and all of that, but master it. Be the go-to guy when we talk about mobile automation. Maybe aside from myself, I don't really know a lot of mobile automation people. I don't really know a lot of mobile test automation engineers in Nigeria, anyways. But in my community in Ghana, yes, I have my go-to guys. So master it. Master something. In 2025, you can't just say, yeah, I'm a software tester and I know how to do testing. It's not enough. Now, for 2025, this is me sharing your the software testing growth track in 2025. Like I already mentioned in the beginning, Testify is the Pan-Africa Software Testing Institute that is focused on raising the next generation of software testers for global tech ecosystem. Your growth track, if you are someone that you don't know where you want to start up in tech, but you are looking for a way to get started in tech, you can start with the Career Starters Launchpad. At this level, what you are looking for is clarity on which career you should be focusing on. I've noticed, having trained over 6,000 people in the last 6 years, having trained over 5,000 people and graduated over 5,000 in the last 6 years, I can say that a number of times, people get to come learn software testing, not necessarily because they have to be a tester, not because they know that that is what they should be doing, but probably they heard about it somewhere and they just want to succeed at it at every point. And it is fine. However, with the Career Starters Launchpad, you can be clear on what you need to know. This is where we used to have a 1-month program. We bring 10 different experts in different fields, from front end to back end to security to cloud computing to software testing, product management, program management, data analyst, social media, and all of those. If we bring 10 of them to come and tell you about their careers. Once we are done with that, we go to the next week. The next 2 weeks will now be, after you are done with the first week, you pick which of these careers you want to go to. And if it's software testing, good. But when you finished in that one, you pick the one you want to go to. For 2 weeks, they will give you a solid beginner's course in the program on whatever field that you choose. And at the end of the 2 weeks, they will give you a project to work on for 1 week. That makes it 1 month. When you are done with the program, If software testing is what you chose and you did for that 1 month, the next step is the switch to software testing platform. If what you choose is not software testing, we have partners, academies we always refer people to. So if software testing is what you choose, we have the switch to software testing program that you can take. I'll talk about that later. Let me just talk about it now. This is a 3-month program. It is run virtually. It runs for 90 days. What else again? Yes, I mean, I already shared about it earlier, so I don't want to repeat myself. It's run for 90 days. And what are the things you get to do inside in these 90 days? One of them is get skilled, learn automation, a bit of automation. We work on capstone projects. We don't only teach you how to position yourself, but we give you practical guides to do that. And then we have the weekly and monthly mentorship call on that program. Once you are done with this, your next step is not to go straight to learning automation. I think this is one of the mistakes a lot of testers do. Once you finish learning software testing, after, especially if you finish this my program, I'm always very keen on you don't come into the academy for test automation without having at least 1 year working. I'm not talking about internship. I'm not talking about doing freelance and working with your friends' project. I'm saying working on a live project in a company for 1 year at least. Do that before you come for automation. It is very important. Because again, the essence of the automation you want to learn is not because you want to use it to become a tester. You're already a tester. You're already good as a tester. Again, depends on where you learn from. But I believe you're already good at a tester. And before that you already worked as a tester, then I believe that can now give you the leverage to say, okay, I've worked for 1 year. I've seen this experience. Now I know why I need automation. And then you come to do test automation. Now, our test automation is broken down into 3. Initially, it was 6 months. Later, it was 5 months. Now we have to break it down. Okay. And and where we broke it down is API test automation, web test automation, mobile test automation. It does not change from the 6-month program. And why I say that is not change is because if it's only API test automation you take, we still cover the introduction to test automation, the CI/CD or continuous integration and learning of versioning and all of that. We still teach you the anatomy of programming language before we now go and teach you JavaScript and then API itself. And of course, after that, we now teach you how to hit the market and build your career from a community. If you go for web automation, you will go through the usual flow, API to introduction to API, to test automation, the whole CI/CD flow, the whole anatomy of programming language. Java is what you'll be taught, and web automation with Selenium. And then if you go for mobile, the same flow, you will always go there. You can see that there's a default structure of introduction to test automation, CI/CD, anatomy of programming language. For mobile, it's Python. And then we go straight to mobile automation. And quite a number of things that is being taught there. And last, it will always end with how to hit the market reformed and maintaining your career. And then that continues like that. But again, you can see that the foundation is you must have already known that this is what you want to do as a software tester. Don't just jump to it and say, yeah, I want to be a tester, and that's what I want to be automatically. No, be very clear. I know a number of people that have had to be in the career for 3, 4, 5 years before they had to switch into another career because they were not progressing in testing. And they were not progressing in testing, not because you can't progress in testing. It's because they started, the purpose was not defined. So it's important that you define it from the CS Launchpad, then you come into software testing, and then you now go into the automation. Now, you cannot come into a specialized program, which, like I said, will be communicating sometimes this year. I know latest by February, you will get updates about it. You cannot come into application performance because we don't want people to come and, I don't know the right English to use. I don't know if anybody can borrow me the word. We don't want situation where people will come and say, I'm an application security tester. But in real sense, You don't even know jack about testing. You're not even good with automation. So there is a criteria to learn this. As a matter of fact, our tutor will insist that you take a test to be sure that you have the necessary foundations. It's not, if you want to learn it online, please go and learn it online. Go and use YouTube, go and use free resource, go and do it. But if you are coming to come and learn within Testify Academy, there is requirement. You must have been working as a tester. You must have done at least, you must have worked on a project as an automation engineer. So there is a request of at least one programming language that you must be good at. You cannot say that I don't like automation. Let me come at application security. No. When it comes to application security, not cyber security. I mean, with cyber security, which is a whole, you can go as well to a lot of things you can do in cyber security without the code. Right? So you can just do that one. But you must know at least one programming language. Not that you know it because you are using it to write. You know the way people know automation to do Cypress, or they know automation to do web automation. No, it's not that kind of knowing. Knowing that you understand it. That when you give you data structure, because when you're dealing with security, you're not just dealing with application UI and backend. You are dealing with the core system architecture. You are protecting the So, and the person that is going to be training us has been in this field for over 15 years. In fact, it was a software tester before he became an application security. And not only is he a panel in the certified certification for application security, this is what he does across countries. So, requirement is key. So, in case you do not know a programming language yet, you can sign up for any of our automation courses. And I think that's a question that somebody asked, that, okay, what if I don't want to do everything? I just want to, and it's fine. It's not mandatory that you're doing all of it in API, web, and mobile together. That's why we broke it down. You can do only API test automation. You can do only web test automation. You can do only mobile test automation. When you are done with that, you should go and seek. Again, this one is not mandatory, but you should go and seek mentorship in leadership. A number of times, we have testers that are not professional. We have a lot of testers that are too emotional to be a tester. We have testers who feel like, since I know automation, I know it all. They're able to execute in your career, execute a project successfully with any form of automation does not make you a test leader. Let's communicate that very clearly. That does not make you a test leader, because you can do software manual and you can do it automation. You can do Cypress, you can do this. That does not make you a leader, because guess what? See the reason why a number of times a software test manager cannot automatically be a CTO in a company. This is the reason why. Because it goes beyond your test automation. It goes beyond test automation. When you are done with your mentorship, this is optional. Yes, we have some mentorship we are doing this year, 2 mentorship that we are doing this year, by the way. We have one for those between 0 to 3 years work experience, and we have for those who are from 4 years and above. So to any one of it, for the one of 0 to 3, we have test leaders, test managers who will be doing the training, who will be teaching a number of things. We're already gathering them. It's going to be 1 week long. And the test automation for the advanced one, for test senior people, we have a number of CTOs, a number of CPOs, quite up to 7 of them that would also be training. So the training there's categories. You are between 0 to 3 years. There is a mentorship program coming for you, and I know that is in June 9 to June 14. And for those that are already 4 years and above, there's a separate there's a separate mentorship program for you. That is also happening this year. That's between August. I think I've forgotten the date, but I'll communicate that. And I'm sure they'll communicate that in the community. Now, lastly is the performance and application security test. Performance test is not what you're looking at, the inspect section of your page. A number of people still do that. They'll go to a website, they will inspect the page, then they will now go to under why they used to go to the things under application, under security. Then they will now go and run rated one. There's a performance section on that inspects page. They'll not say, oh, they'll not gather all the information, or they'll go to security and go to Lighthouse. They'll shall run it, they'll submit it that no performance test. Yeah, some will do it with JMeter, before you know it, they'll say, oh, 500 user, this is what it brings. What does that even mean? Can you really sell that your performance results to stakeholders? Can you communicate your performance results effectively to stakeholders? When you're doing application security testing, it is beyond the inspect page result that you're getting. And it is beyond, I know how to use this tool now. You just put in the API, you just see the result, you just scan it, you just do it. No. It's beyond that. But like I said, all the teas about it will be shared with you later. For this year, this is our calendar, right? This is our calendar for the year. Cohort 27 and cohort 27 for our switch to software testing starts on Monday. The cohort 9 for our test automation school, regardless of whether it's API you want to do or web or mobile, it starts on Monday, right? That is for cohort 27 for the switch to software testing program, and the cohort 9 for the test automation one. You can pick anyone. You can pick API, web, anyone, or mobile. You can choose anyone. It is still the same date it starts. We have different instructors for them. The good news is from our February 16 cohorts, all our API, all our automation courses is going to be a live class. From February cohorts, all our courses is going to be a live class. All of them. So it's strictly live classes. So this is the calendar for the year. You can screenshot this. You can plan your calendar, to know which cohort you want to join. You can do API starting on Monday, February for web, mobile for April. You can do that. For our specialized course, which is the performance and application security, details will be shared with you all, right? And if you want to sign up already for the academy, I don't know if I should drop a link, but you can just chat up the number the team has dropped in the chat section. But you can just go straight to our seller page and sign up for any of the courses, whether in installment or just one-time payment, right? You can do that from our seller page. I'm dropping the link in the chat section. Yeah, that's the link. And if you want payment transfer, that's the transfer details on the screen. For Testers Quarter, the link is already shared with you all already, right? bit.ly/testers. All right. Okay, I think that'll be all for me. I think now I can now welcome all the questions that you all have. Any questions for me? But that's the end of our session today. I don't know if you learned anything. I don't know if you enjoyed the session. I'm not seeing any comment. I'm not seeing any feedback. The chat session is so dry. What's happening? Were we listening? All right, thank you. I'm looking for questions. Tell us about the community. Adetoye Sheung, I don't know if you understand the community now. The community is hosted on Slack. We have a whole world on that Slack. We have quite a lot of things that we do on Slack. I think I'm tempted to share the Slack group right now. Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay. I can't see it though. Let me see if I can. Okay. So this is the Slack platform. We have close to 2,000 people there. And all information is being shared here. We have different rooms. Discussion is where we do all the gisting and talk about everything happening in the tech and in the testing world. This is where we do all the drama. Okay, 10 days, trending news, 10 days of bug hunting, the software testing certification, knowledge sharing, different communities, even though they have removed me, different communities also have their own platform as well, meaning Abuja have their team, Ghana has their team. So yes, even if you are in Ibadan, there are testers there as well. Okay, it's not just in Lagos. There's testers in Abuja, there's testers in Ibadan, there's testers in Ghana, there's testing in the UK, there's testing in Germany. All right. Let me see. Is there any question for me? This is very educated. Can you learn automation while still jump on team and you have not worked at all? No. Please get a job. Work with your skill first before you start before you start job hunting or before you start learning automation. Just channel your energy. A very good mentee of mine and colleague lose his job last year, October, and because he put in energy, was able to get the job. So the branding and everything helps him to be able to land a job, right? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. So yes, what if I want to learn the 3-in-1 automation? I mean, one API. Yes, you can just take it in bits. Finish API, take web, take mobile. That's all. So every information about application security testing would definitely be shared with you. Just ensure you're in the community and you're also following us on LinkedIn, and on our Slack and on our Instagram page and on our Twitter page. Yes, you can as well just follow us on our platform. I think that will be all from me. If you have any question, of course, I'm still very much available on LinkedIn and on Slack, and I'll get to see you. The number for the team is also there. Let's have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you next time. See you next week, Friday, at the career growth team section at the community. Okay, question just drop. What a year manual testing experience can non-tester write ISTQB exam? Anybody, even if you're not a tester, you can write ISTQB exam. So don't be flattered by ISTQB. Anybody can write ISTQB. Even developers are doing ISTQB. So it's really not to test your knowledge in software testing, really. Because even a developer can do it. All right? So don't be scared about, what if I don't have the experience yet? No. Don't be scared. All right. Thank you so much once again, everyone, and let's have a great day. Bye-bye. Can we stop recording? Thank you. Oh, people are still trying to join. We are done. We are done. Oh, we are done. You probably joined late. Thank you. Group link is shared in the chat section. bit.ly/testers. bit.ly/testers. That's the link. bit.ly/testers. We are done. Thank you. Bye-bye.